Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gino Spot, special edition today. And we're doing a pre-record this morning for the weather, because we've got the weather gurus here in town tonight. We've got Dries and we have Garth tonight, and we're going to be talking about the water tariffs. We're going to get straight into this because this is a hot topic at the moment. The water tariffs are still up and they're still going, and we need to figure out what's going on. Thank you to our there we go. You can support the weather group by sending him stars as well. Absolutely, we need the stars to carry on. We need to make a living in this place, in this this town of ours, us Kebechis. So welcome to Gino Spot, special edition. And thank you to our sponsors, Fitch Leads and Namibia for our internet. And I think we're going to dive straight into this today. We're not going to waste any time. We've got Dries ready here, champing at the bit to get into it. So Garth, I think you're going to do a little introduction. Let's hear what it's all about.
Well, morning, Gino.
Morning.
And Dries, welcome here. Well, our combined dam levels of the Algoa system are currently sitting at 84%. The best it's been for, I don't know how many years. With all dams overflowing bar the Impofu, which is sitting at a staggering 58%. I won't be surprised if it doesn't hit 60% by the end of the month, because the Langkloof is having nice rains every day, little bits, but It's keeping those rivers flowing. 2-3 millimeters, that's all we need. The Nooitgedacht scheme has been expanded, and all emergency borehole points around the city are completed. We also have a promising seasonal forecast for above average rains. I'm sure that you'll agree that the water supply and water reserves have been sizably augmented before the drought until now. Yet we are still under strict water restrictions and paying steep rates. Basically, the rate-paying public wants answers and actions. I'm chatting to Ward 1 councillor Dries van der Westhuizen. He's the DA spokesman for water and sanitation. Welcome, Dries.
Thank you, Garth.
You hold the infrastructure and engineering spokesperson portfolio, and have come a full circle from staving off day zero in the metro, being to a favourable position we are in now as far as water is concerned. Give us a brief description of this journey.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you, Gino. Thank you, Garth, for the opportunity. Yes, I'm a DA councillor. I am in the water and sanitation portfolio. This is my second term as a councillor. I've been in this portfolio that whole time.
Oh, okay.
And most of it, of course, was during the drought. So I have a thorough understanding of where we were and where we are at the moment. I remember those days when every week we sat at the Joint Operations Centre waiting with bated breath for the weather guru to come and tell us what the weather is going to bring us. And the bugger never gave us good news.
He's not a good news guy, no.
But it was difficult times. Those were difficult times. I remember very well we were under stress from residents saying, why must I save water? Look at all this water running down the road. Residents saying, I pay for my water, I can wash my driveway if I want to. We went through all those issues, but we managed to get through it with the assistance of the residents of this metro that assisted us to get through this difficult period where we are now, where we have lots of water.
Yeah, they certainly did. They certainly did pull together for that period. I think everybody was on the lookout.
Yes, I think the public must be commended. If it wasn't for the public buy-in, we wouldn't be where we are today. But throughout the water crisis, we were given certain goalposts. If the Impofu gets 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. But this was not forthcoming. The goalposts were constantly shifted, and everybody asks, who sets the goalposts? Is it the executive, the officials, or the Department of Water Affairs, or the legislative, the council? Who sets the goalposts?
Right, good questions. I think I'm going to start off by saying the National Department of Water and Sanitation gives us limits as to how much water we can extract from the dams, our main water supply. The municipality council decides on restrictions and water tariffs.
Okay.
It's only the council, and I'll give a little bit more details about that. So our municipality has a policy where they determine the punitive tariffs and the rates. All right, so basically it's rather vague. Maybe that's what they're using at the moment. But Part A is when you have a normal water situation. Part B is when you have a shortage of water.
Okay.
Part C is when there's an emergency, and Part D is when you have a crisis.
Okay.
All right. So presently we're in Part C, which according to their own policy is an emergency, and I think we can agree with there's no emergency
at this stage. Yeah.
I mean, we have lots of water. So it's only council that can make any decision on any budgetary item, and obviously our tariffs is a budgetary item. So it must go to council, and council must decide and agree that we're going to reduce our tariffs, i.e. go from Part D to C or C to D. Mm-hmm. And it's not national government at all that has any effect down there. They might make suggestions, but they can't tell you, they don't have that authority to tell you what to do. All right, so having said that, it's clear from what you've just said as well, we've got water. Having these punitive tariffs at the moment, I mean, it's ridiculous, really. It's I can't stress it enough. It's immoral. It's immoral to keep on taxing our residents when we're already in this really tough economic times.
In other words, it's not based on science, it's based on politics.
Yeah, is it just a case of dragging the feet, or is it a case because I think the question here is this something to do with council wanting more money to go in, money for nothing basically, or is it is it just that the processes haven't come through?
Do you know, it's really difficult. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense to me at the moment. Mm-hmm. So we have had our Senior Director of Water and Sanitation make a number of erroneous statements.
Oh.
And I mean, the Democratic Alliance, we've debunked those statements long ago.
Okay.
All right, those have been debunked long ago. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's still what the present government is using as a reason or an excuse.
Okay. That the council or the municipality is going to lose a lot of money if we do these tariffs. Yeah. Although they're punitive, so it doesn't make sense. You know?
Exactly, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We do have restrictions from national government says you can use, let's say for instance, you can use 100 million litres from that dam.
Okay.
So there are limits to, you can't just carry on extracting, that's national government. So they have said, for instance, that we have a 40% restriction on the Algoa system, that's the Impofu and the Churchill dam,
okay.
Which means we can use 60% of the allocation that they give us every year. All right, we have a 5% restriction on the Algoa system, that's the Algoa dam and the Luri dam. So we can use 95% of the allocation every year. And we got no restrictions on the other dams like Groendal. Most importantly, of course, is Nooitgedacht. You know, we've finished phase 3 of Nooitgedacht.
Yes.
So that gives us more than 60% of our water for this method. There's no restriction on that whatsoever.
The Nooitgedacht system, just to put it in my mind as well, and I'm sure the people that are watching, I mean, you both sort of know what's. I heard that is it money? Is the water that's coming from Bloem's side, from the dams, from the what is it called?
The Garib dam.
Absolutely.
Is that where it's coming from?
It comes all the way from the Garib dam through canals, channels, rivers,
Quite complicated.
Is it quite
Yeah,
complicated?
it's-
Whereabouts does it come down? I mean, where, do you either know? Do you know the?
Comes down the Sundays River.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Nooitgedacht is a water treatment works. It's not a dam.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay,
a water treatment. So it's got a small catchment dam where it catches water, but it's primarily there to clean the water that comes from the Garritam.
Okay.
All right. So and that is, as I said, more than 60% of our water.
Where is that situated? In Addo? Is it close here? That treatment centre, that treatment plant.
Yeah,
Sundays.
it's just in the Sundays River Valley.
Valley,
Yeah,
okay.
There were all the orange farmers are.
Yes, yeah. Kirkwood and
Exactly.
Sunderlands and those
Yes.
places. Okay.
And then, of course, we must never forget that we spent more than R1 billion on boreholes to supplement our water supply. And those boreholes are all operational, except for St. George's Park, that's been vandalized recently. But our boreholes, so all in all, we do have sufficient supply at the moment.
Okay.
Yes, it is quite frightening with the millions of litres of water running to the sea from the Kouga. That's just not being used. Yes, but can you tell the viewers, what has the opposition, the DA, done to get these restrictions lifted or eased? And are the other parties standing behind the DA, or is the DA standing as the sole light there? Can you give us a bit of the political gist behind it?
Yeah, sure. Before we get there, most of our dams is overflowing at the moment. So the water is spilling over the walls, running into the sea. And the national government is comfortable that if we ask them, we are allowed to exceed our allocation for that dam whilst the water is running over the wall.
Yes, because it's been wasted.
Just been wasted.
We have no idea whether that's been applied for, whether we've asked for it.
Okay.
All right, so the Democratic Alliance has, for the last year, at every single council meeting, submitted a motion to discuss the reduction of the punitive water tariffs. All right, so as I said, it's only council that can make decisions on anything to do with budget. Punitive tariffs, of course, is budget. So as a political party, we put in a motion and we say we would like to discuss this topic on this council meeting. It's all in accordance with the rules of council. But then it is up to the Speaker of Council, Councillor Eugene Johnson in this instance, to take the motion and put it on the agenda and let the councillors discuss it and decide what they want to. So ultimately, the Speaker of Council must table the motion, and the 120 councillors from all the political parties must take a vote and say we agree or we don't agree.
Okay.
For some reason, well, firstly, the Speaker has agreed that the motion is in accordance with rules.
Okay.
She agrees that it's a valid motion.
Yes.
But at every council meeting, there's some reason why we can't discuss it. It can't be tabled. It can't, not this time. Councillor, next time. Councillor, the city manager will discuss. There's always some reason. So it's...
In the meantime, everybody's paying.
Everybody's paying. Well, I think we're going to get to that just now. The first thing is that, our present Minister of Water and Sanitation, just last week, she said the following. She said that this was at a parliamentary plenary session. She said there's no water crisis, there's no water shortage, there's a challenge with water management. Spot on, I mean, it's really totally there. She said municipalities must fix their leaks and their water distribution systems. We can't afford to be throwing almost half our water away through leaks. And I think that is, such a the crux of the
Is
matter.
leaks such a problem that like literally it's half the amount of half the water that's coming through those pipes is going in our metro.
Well, as far as I've heard, it's not only leaks, it's non-revenue water. In other words, people that steal water,
okay.
people that haven't got water meters, etc., etc. I think it's 40 or 60%. I'm not sure.
Our non-revenue water.
Yeah.
In other words, water that we don't get remunerated for.
Yes.
Is close to or above 60%.
Wow.
All right. Okay. So it's not all wasted water, because you must remember our municipality, for instance, must use clean water to clean dirty water at our wastewater treatment work.
Okay.
All right. And municipal buildings use water, etc. So, but the water leaks, water that is running into the ground, at the last report was at 38%, and it's most probably higher by now.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Okay, I mean that's water that we have paid for. Water that's come from the Garib Dam through all those rivers, channels, clean that Nooitgedacht,
and it's
gone to reservoirs, gone to pump stations,
and it's just
pumped into your house, and along the way it disappears.
Okay.
Yeah, up to 60%.
Yeah, up to nearly 40%. Oh, you said 30.
Well, the leaks is
40%.
Is close to 40%.
40%, yeah.
But the non-revenue water is just as important.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
To come back to the question, is it DA standing alone, or is there any other party that has got your back, or is it the DA against everybody else?
Yes, it's a sad situation, I believe, because over this last year, the other political parties mostly have been silent. There's been no uproar, there's been no real support that we have gotten from any of the political parties. Some of the parties, when I, for instance, that have been driving this thing for the last year, get into council, will make jokes about it, about you're going to be trying to fight this thing again, and etc. and so on, as if it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not. It's about our residents and of course.
So it's one person that is pushing the button, Eugene Johnson. One person.
No, I think that's a little bit unfair, because she's the Speaker of Council,
slave to the party.
But she does belong to a political party. She does belong to a troika, they call it, and now to a bigger troika with all the smaller parties there. So she gets her guidance from the troika.
In other words, a slave to the party.
Yeah. Of course, I mean that's how politics works, unfortunately.
Because the GNU is up at the top there, national level, changing the way things work, the power, things are shifting.
Gary's got a question there.
Yeah, you think the power sort of shifting off there?
Are there specific benchmarks or indicators that should trigger a review of the emergency tariff status?
Well, once again, as I tried to explain a little bit easy, the policy is a little bit vague. There is, for instance, no definition on what constitutes an emergency.
Yeah.
So must the dams be at 50% or lower, and now we have an emergency?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense scientifically.
Yes.
Scientifically.
So we have already asked that policy gets reviewed, and that we put this on the table, saying, right, these are the limits by which we need to govern the water. But at the moment, it's not.
And then it's understandable. I mean, as a member of the public, I can say, okay, well, our dams are at 60% weak, and now we don't have any tariffs. But if dams are at 40%, now we've got to make a plan.
Yes.
That's why everybody asks me, what's the Impofu dam? And I ask them, what does it matter what the Impofu dam is?
Yeah.
It could be at 100%,
150%.
and the municipality is not going to reduce the rates. That is the big question. What is the way forward for lifting it? Surely the ratepayer has some right. What can the opposition parties do? Can we run to court? Can we go over the municipality's head? Can we go to central government, provincial government, the constitutional court? What can the ratepayer do? We're frustrated.
Can we go
Everybody's frustrated.
We're going to go in a barrel with stop the rates and go over the top of
Watch out, they're going to lock you up, eh? They're going to lock you up, inciting violence.
Obviously, ratepayers, residents can do a lot more. I think the first thing is that we need to ask the other political parties to support us, to get the pressure there. Because remember, what we're trying to do is just to put pressure on the existing government to say, what you're doing is immoral, what you're doing is wrong. You know, it's as easy as that. Put it to council, let's vote on it. You know, that shouldn't be so difficult. Let's get the support of the other parties. As the Democratic Alliance, we're starting a petition now. So every DA ward councillor will have a petition in their office. If you have the time, go there and sign the petition to show that you support our efforts and what we want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, there's nothing stopping residents writing to the mayor, writing to the city manager.
This is what we could do, you know, as I've seen it. Surely the mayor is the one that would really drive this as well. If our new mayor, what's it, vice mayor, that Gary's gone around.
Musical chairs.
Yeah, it's been a musical chairs. But the mayor should have the needs of the people at heart. So surely, you know, it's time. We want to be able to water our gardens. We want to be able to do, you know, clean things. We want to be able to not bath in a bucket anymore, you know.
But no, exactly. So two things here. Firstly, is that you've just said that the mayor should have this.
Yes, in her heart. Yes. Somebody tag the mayor.
You must remember
Yes.
that I've been fighting this for a year.
Yeah.
That gentleman that occasionally went to the office with the name executive mayor on the door
Yes.
has never said a single word about the punitive water tariffs in the last year, in council or outside of council. So does he and or she have that close to their heart?
Yeah.
I will leave that up to you to decide, really.
I have a feeling he's got so much else on his plate with his court cases and stuff that But look, at the new mayor is here. The new mayor should be able to help us, you know.
Yes.
And it's not just us, it's everybody. It's this entire city. You know?
The entire city.
The entire city is sitting with punitive
And it goes
fines. They're getting fined for water that's flowing over the dam.
It doesn't matter what party you vote for.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter what party your political views.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you know, it's not just residents. It's not just us.
Business.
You have small businesses. The pool building business, for instance, they have this entire time been saying, please help us.
Yeah.
You know, we have to lay off people.
Yeah.
Our businesses are folding because
Construction.
The restriction says you're not allowed to build a swimming pool.
Yeah. Okay. And also, if you think about what like a simple pool company has to go through in order to fix a pool, they have to go in there. They have to get now big bladders to hold the water and to keep them in your garden. It costs a major extra expense. And they for sure are absorbing that expense. They're not able to hire more people to do the jobs. There's less jobs. There's less money.
Exactly.
It's a spiral.
Yeah.
You know, it all helps towards the economy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're talking about the economy. It's been touted that the money collected from steep tariffs is 24 million rand a month. I heard this morning somebody was touting a figure of that the municipality would lose 98 million. Don't know how true. Is this true? And what is the money being used for? It's definitely not being used for potholes or cleaning drains. We just need 10 millimeters of rain. And it's a flood in PE.
Exactly.
10 millimeters and we got a flood.
Yeah. So I believe that 24 million is correct, that we're getting extra from the punitive tariffs. That money goes into a general account and it gets dished out to whoever. So it definitely doesn't get earmarked or ring-fenced just for water.
Or potholes.
or potholes. But we're talking water here, so let's stick to this.
Potholes make potholes.
If it was still the potholes, or maybe we could say they dams, so it just comes down to the water. If it was still ring fenced and said, yes, we're really just going to keep it for the water department, you could maybe still, edge that way, but it's not. But that's not the important part. The important part is that our Budget and Treasury Directorate has, in writing, in the annual report, stated very clearly that the punitive tariffs has a very negative effect on our collection rate. Now, the collection rate means the percentage of residents that pay their full municipal account every month. Okay. Now, what's important is that 1% of the collection rate is at least 60 million rand. All right, so yeah, we're talking about 24 million rand that we gain this side, but just 1% our collection rate drops. You're losing 60 million rand.
Wow.
And our collection rate at the last that I saw was below 70%. So I mean, you can do those sums. You can work that out.
60 million times 30, basically, or about times 40.
Yeah. So it doesn't make. Once again, I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
So those amounts that he's talking about that doesn't make sense. If you take away the punitive tariffs, you'll get more collection, and they'll get those percentages will be up by.
Simple.
If it moves up 2%, it's 120.
Gino, simple economics. If the cost comes down, the demand goes up. The people are still going to spend the same amount on water. If you can water your garden and there's no restrictions and fill your pool, you'll still need to spend 300 rand on water or 400 rand on water. So that's logic. If I recall, it was an EFF councillor that said the DA is only worried about these tariffs because it's only DA supporters that pay the water bills. I didn't say that. This was open in council. This is true because I saw it myself. What percentage of the population or ratepayers pays for water?
Okay, yeah, no, it is most unfortunate that Councillor Dries from the EFF made that statement in council. Not only did he make it in council, he at a later stage, he said, I stand by it, I support that, I still believe that. I mean, that's disgusting statement.
That's racist.
I mean, I'm not going to go there, but it's a disgusting. I mean, come on, to talk about the residents when you're a political leader in that fashion, it's disgusting. I've got no other term for it. It really is. It's unconscionable, and I don't understand it. But once again, through all the noise that we've been making, the Democratic Alliance, about this, when that statement, for instance, was made, there was no uproar in council from the other political parties. It was just silent, so...
Withdraw that statement, that statement.
So it's the percentage of residents that pay their accounts, I don't have that information. But, I mean, we've already said that we're only getting 60% we're only getting 40% money back from the water that we supply. How many residents or how many businesses that is, I'm not going to say irrelevant. The most important part is that our Budget and Treasury Department has said that our punitive tariffs negatively affects our collection rate, and that there's a problem, and that is the important aspect that we need to address.
Okay, now the big question is, besides Gino getting his barrel and me getting my rotten eggs and a couple of friends getting some burning tires and getting to learn to do the toy, what can we do to stop this, let's call it daylight robbery? What? Oh, can we just sit down? Can we organise a march? Can we go throw fraught eggs at the mayor? I don't want to say that because they're going to lock me up when inciting violence. But I don't know what ends What can we do legally or illegally?
Well, firstly, yes to all of the above, Grant. I think if the residents would just assist us in our fight, because we're not going to stop the fight. We're not going to give up. We will, as a political party, we will fight this until the punitive tariffs have come down. Once again, it's immoral, and we need to address that as soon as possible. All right. Yeah. But the most important aspect that can address the predicament we're in, obviously, politically, this thing needs to go to council, and we need to vote that we reduce the punitive tariff. So we need the support from the residents out. I mean, if you're supporting the ACDP, go and speak to your ACDP councillor and say to him, listen, I'm paying too much for my water. Support them. But this is not a political issue.
If you vote,
it's not political.
Go and speak to your ANC councillor, speak to your EFF councillor, because everybody's affected. It's not just
it's not western suburbs, eastern suburbs.
It's nothing. It's everybody.
And business. That's my big thing. My big thing is the business. Everybody works for somebody.
Yeah.
And people are in business to make money. They're not there to employ you. So the more money they make, the more ability they've got to pay you a higher salary. So if you're complaining about your salary, complain about the water restrictions.
And I mean the chambers. The chamber is also fighting. I'm sure, but they've got the bigger electricity story on their
plate also.
But you see, but not electricity is a very good example.
Yeah.
I've got a statement. Opinion,
yes.
And I'm saying that, in a few years from now, the only people that will be using municipal water and municipal electricity are those that don't pay for it.
That's correct. That's why we pay. That is correct.
Because big business, residents, boreholes, solar panels, wind farms, all these things are coming up every day. But so firstly, council has to vote on this, but more importantly, remember what the minister said. We don't have a crisis.
We've got a water management.
We've got a management crisis.
Yeah.
So we need to be putting pressure on management, political and administrative management.
Yeah.
If I have just 1 minute to give you an example.
Yeah.
We have a new mayor.
Yes.
So now we have new political...
What is your name?
Lubiso.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have new political heads of all the portfolio committees.
Okay.
Now the portfolio committees is the oversight committee. Mm-hmm. That's where the items go before it gets to council, and that's where they fight out the issues and get agreement and do oversight and so on.
All right.
Very important portfolio committees, and we have new political leaders. So next week we're having a portfolio committee meeting on water and sanitation.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, you'll be there then.
I'll be there.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm going to do there because we just got our agenda for that meeting yesterday.
Oh.
There isn't a single service delivery item on that agenda. No water leaks, no reservoir repairs, no sewage leaks, nothing about service delivery. Nothing whatsoever.
What is on there?
Exactly. So I'm going to a committee, oversight committee meeting, and there's nothing that I can do oversight about.
Nothing.
It's.
I think that there's also a bigger problem that I can see here is that every time that the council changes, the mayor changes, there's a whole lot of new political heads that get slotted into these places. How can they even get going when nobody is there for longer than 3 months or whatever it's I don't know.
It's absolutely correct. So look, I'm being a little bit, let's say, derogatory to the new political head. I believe she's feisty and a fairly good councillor.
She's got the people's in her heart. That's what you need.
We'll see as we go forward.
Okay.
Maybe we use the first meeting just as a side thing. I think it's a lost opportunity. I think this is because this is the end of the year. Our next meeting is going to be another month or 3 down the line.
Yeah.
But we'll see. the instability, the political instability is often used as a reason or an excuse for officials to not achieve their aim. It is also a fact that it is used for officials to push through their own agendas, to do the plans that they would prefer it to be done, because there's this political instability. Okay. So it is an important aspect that you've just said.
If the DA regains majority, could it change the policies to stop this happening again? And what are the processes involved to change the policies? And obviously, why didn't they do it the last time?
Hindsight is 100%.
Can you? I mean, I presume you're talking about the regulation there. So can you put these things in place that they have to be followed?
Absolutely. There's to change that policy. Won't take a lot of effort. We just have to get to let's say a scientific answer as to what depicts normal use and what depicts an emergency and when is it a crisis. And we have enough expertise inside and outside and in national to do that. I don't think it's a challenge whatsoever. Okay. Why didn't we do it the last time? Because we weren't in this situation. The policy previously was applied, I think, fairly. We never had the situation where we had I'm going to say an abundance of water. But we refuse to. We don't even give a reason. I think that's one of the worst things. There's in the last year, nobody has stood up and said, you know what?
We're keeping the punitive.
We're keeping the punitive tariffs. We're punishing our residents for this, for that, for that reason.
Because you'll gain over here and you'll gain over there.
I think that's where I would like to come in and have my final 5 cents worth. Our meeting, I don't think the problem is so much with council, the municipality, etc., etc. I think the big problem lies with the communication department. They, like they say in Afrikaans, so still soos 'n landmyn. You don't hear, well, what are we paying the communication department for? I think, as the weather guru, I did more, well, I got the award for it, during the through the water restrictions that the entire communication department of the municipality did. I will be sending my account shortly. But over now, this is a perfect time for the communication department to come and give us answers. It shouldn't be me sitting here, it shouldn't be Dries or you sitting here asking. We are doing the communication department of the Metro's job. And my biggest concern, and hear me out today, and we can bookmark this, we are going to go into another drought. If you believe in climate change or don't believe in climate change or the cyclical nature of weather, we have ups and we have downs. And climate change says that the ups will be higher and the downs will be lower. So your floods will be worse and your droughts will be worse. We are going to move into another water crisis. It might be 1 year's time, it might be 5, it might be 10. The public's going to remember what the municipality did to us in this time. Remember, if I had a dog, the children used to tease it at the gate. That dog got out one day and he ran straight to that child and bit it. The residents are going to bite the hand of the municipality. It is now the time to communicate with the public and play the part and give them something back. Otherwise, you're not going to get the buy-in with an extra. What have you got to say for a final?
Before we get to some questions, I think we've got some questions online here as well.
Look, let's say in defense of the communications department, they are dependent on the politicians and the officials to give them the information. If you go to the website and you go and look at the website that gives us information on our dams, for instance, it gets updated every week, every second week.
Or maybe not even for 4 weeks.
Or maybe even not for 4 weeks.
What website? The website, which
the municipal website. I do it on my
NMBM. You can just type in NMBM.
I do it on my Weather Guru every Monday morning.
I think it was the 13th. I think if I checked yesterday was the last time it was updated.
Sure.
That's
before the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think that we need to have a little bit. No, not a little bit. We need ethical leadership. That's what we need. We this uncaring government that we have at the moment has to just show that that there is some ethical leadership in their ability, because we have good councillors across the spectrum. We really do. It's this groupthink, I think, that is dragging us down.
Okay.
So in closing, if there's any questions, ethical leadership, I think, is let's have the residents and our business forefront, and because that's what we're here for. We're here to work for them, and not the other way around.
Yeah, it's serving the public.
Yeah, public service.
Let's have a quick look at some of the comments coming through here. I see Omri's on yes says there's no legal way to withhold rates and things. I mean, this has been toyed around before. I think the
withholding of rates.
Withholding rates.
And paid it in the central account.
Has it worked in other instances? I think it was. I've seen it before in the news, but
Yes.
I don't know where.
Look, okay, the short answer is it's not legal. It's illegal.
Okay.
All right? And you, as a resident, you will definitely come second.
Yeah.
But there is municipalities that has taken their residents that has taken their municipality to court and forced the municipality to do things, or got authority from the court to say, so we are going to go and fix the wastewater treatment works, and you will just pay for it. As a municipality, you will then have to pay for it, but we'll go and do it. So there are options, but it has to go through the courts. It's not I'm going to create an account quickly and everybody pays me.
Because I think
that's not legal.
The one that I saw, they were actually storing the money. They were paying them the rates, but they were putting it in a different account and waiting for the municipality and withholding it from the municipality. So now somebody also was complaining about cutting off the water in Fern Glen. It says if you're just a week late on paying your account, where clearly others are not treated the same, what's the official cut-off policy? Do you know the details?
Soft target.
Well, firstly, they're not allowed to cut off your water. It's a constitutional right. So they are not allowed to cut off your water. They, what our municipality does and should be doing is put a water restrictor on.
As restriction.
So it restricts your daily consumption. If you use more than your allocated consumption, it closes until tomorrow morning about 2 o'clock, then it opens up again. So that's the correct way to do it. And as far as I know, it is being done through the majority of the metro.
Yes, I was talking about it in our neighbourhood a little while ago.
Yes,
so that's what they do.
They can cut off your electricity.
Yes.
But they have to give you written notice that your account is overdue and give you 30 days to pay it and make alternative arrangements, but not your water.
Okay, all right. So they're not allowed to cut off the water. What long-term strategies are being developed to prevent future water crisis beyond just adjusting the tariffs? I mean, it's easy. Just pay more money is easy, but actually infrastructure-wise, I suppose.
Absolutely, we have to invest in our infrastructure. Firstly, so we have spent a lot of money on, let's say, getting more water. So we've got Nooitgedacht phase 3 that gave us an additional 65 million litres a day. We've done our boreholes that was supposedly going to give us 27 million litres a day. Unfortunately, that's not. That's a fact, but that's not the issue. So we have put in a lot of money and time and effort to get additional water. We have to maintain the water that we've got. It doesn't help getting more, that old adage about having a tin with a lot of holes in. Doesn't matter how much water you pour in the top, you have to fix the holes. That should be our priority.
I've always maintained, as you said, a long-term strategy. We should never lift restrictions.
Yeah.
When the dams are overflowing, put a restriction of 100 kilolitres a month.
Yeah, a reasonable
Yeah,
restriction.
100 kilolitres,
Yeah.
and then pay above that.
Yeah.
And then when it gets down, so you've got a mark to work, you've got a goal post. 100 kilolitres, I'm sure nobody's going to use that. But you're not going to abuse after that.
Yes.
And if it gets, like, say, the dams get to 80%, then we drop that down to 75 kilolitres. And that we constantly got it in the back of our mind that it doesn't become a shock to us.
Yes.
But just to say, because some people do go overboard, and they'll suddenly like fill 3 swimming pools up and take in good times. What we've got to do is flatten that curve, because weather is cyclical, and we've just got to, if we flatten that curve, and remember we've got this big problem, exponential population growth.
Yeah.
The government can never do enough because the population is growing too fast.
Yeah.
No, but once again, if we just maintain what we've got, our water usage or our water demand has not changed drastically over the last 10 or 20 years. So keep what you've got, fix the pipes, fix the reservoirs, fix the leaks. That's where your energy should go. We at the moment it wouldn't appear. At the moment, the emphasis within this directorate is we want to go for desalination. Now, desalination is a wonderful thing, but it's extremely expensive.
Where are we going to get the electricity from?
A desalination plant is not something you can switch on when there's no rain and switch off when you've got lots of rain. You have to pay for it every single day. So when your dams are overflowing, you're going to pay this exorbitant rate, for your additional water. Then, because we're turning a blind eye to reuse. In other words, cleaning our wastewater and reusing that, even if it's just for industries. We had a wonderful newspaper article a month or so back where one of the companies in Nooitgedacht did exactly that. They're taking wastewater from freshwater flats. They're cleaning it and they're using it in the industrial facilities, and they're saving fresh water.
Is that not Northfield? Because I know Northfield Engineering are
doing Neil Biscuit.
I didn't quite have
Tag Neil.
But also, I mean, if you go to there's a lot of our industrial areas, you'll see all these huge tanks. So they're collecting rainwater as well.
Green acres.
Once again,
they're saving money there as well. But
green acres.
The Guga development, for instance, they got their environmental assessment authorization on condition that they build a reuse plant. That was, I think it's 15 years ago. And we keep on dodging that one. We'll pay them. We'll pay the same people to build a desalination plant, but we won't ask. Listen, just comply with your regulations. Type thing.
That's right. Reuse is vital. Apparently, Greeno overall tells me that they can save 80% of your wastewater in your house. 80% with their systems. So basically, what I found now is using a washing machine. That is a big user of, and if you can save that water from the washing machine and possibly use it for toilets or the garden, etc., that's a lot. So in other words, if you've got 100 litres of water and you can use it twice, you've actually got 200 litres.
Just there's a couple more questions. I see Ingrid Greef is online there saying that the Walmer residents wrote to the mayor and no response yet. Well, maybe somebody can tag the mayor in this. That'll be wonderful. So find her Facebook and tag it. How do the current tariffs compare with those in other municipalities at the moment, and all the ones that have also experienced drought? Maybe the Western Cape. Have they gone back to standard pricing?
Yes.
Western Cape.
Yes.
Yes.
Western Cape.
It was a big fight also.
Yeah.
Really, also a big fight.
It was a big fight apparently.
But, sorry, once again, the Western Cape spent a lot of money on desalination because they had to. I mean, they were literally at day zero. I mean, they were far worse than what we were at any stage.
Okay.
Because we've always had Nooitgedacht.
Yes.
Okay, Nooitgedacht has always produced water. So we, theoretically, we never really faced day zero.
Okay.
Certain parts of the metro, because we couldn't then get it to all parts of the metro.
Okay.
But Cape Town were days away from day zero.
Okay.
They spent millions on desalination. As soon as they could, they switched it off. Because
So it's not working anymore.
You can't afford it. It's
Well, you see, so there's no point. There's no point in that until the tech catches up.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's power hungry.
Well, there are companies that say we can do it with solar. I can't dispute that.
Yeah.
But desalination also has a huge negative environmental effect.
Yes, I can imagine. You're taking stuff out the sea in massive quantities.
And taking that brine back and throwing it back into the sea.
Yeah.
You know, it's hugely negative to the environment. Where once again, the reuse, not only are you keeping the water that you've got in the system, it is environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
Because it's
clean.
Millions of liters of
Relatively.
water that we're not putting into our rivers and into the sea.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a win-win to me all the way.
Nooitgedacht he says in phase 3 at the moment. So there's a phase 4 and 5. How many phases are there in this thing?
Well, there's no limit at the moment, but there are plans in place for phase 4. So, because the Garib Dam is so huge and it hardly ever has restrictions.
But the Garib Dam has been in a time of drought. We must also not solely rely on that, because the Garib Dam, I've got photos, I think it is 2012, where the little harbour in the dam, the yachts are standing on dry ground.
No?
So yes, I think they had the big rain in 2012 then.
Right.
So it's also something, we as residents, we are in a drought-prone country, and we've got to, it's only the eastern half of the country that really has got water. We are very drought-prone, especially along the coastal belt, because we've got the small catchment area.
Yeah.
It's not it's not like the Garib Dam that's got massive.
Yeah.
We've got just this little area.
Okay,
The same with Cape Town.
That's our problem. And so it's Nooitgedacht, and the fact that I love that analogy of you can put as much water as you like in the bucket. It's got all the holes. It's going.
Yeah, that's right.
Fix the holes. Fix the stuff. Can you outline any collaborative efforts with provincial or national bodies? So that's on a national level to secure funding and for sustainable practices. So how's that working with national government? Is the investment there from that side?
I suppose
Yes.
working with water.
No, look, national government is very active, proactive in assisting municipalities. I think you kind of first have to ask for assistance before you get the assistance.
Okay, yes.
But we have, I think we have a very good national government on water and sanitation.
Okay.
Minister Chunu, for instance, I mean, he was really great.
Is he the Minister of Water and
He
Sanitation?
he's now police.
Okay.
He's moved to police.
Maybe Gary can look up the current one. I don't know.
She's been down, and she talks the same fight as Minister Chunu.
Okay.
So we have great faith in her abilities as well going forward.
Okay.
I mean, she summed up within first month or two in the job. She summed up very clearly.
It's water
Our
management.
problem is management and not the
Management
lack of water.
and
So I think we have that.
Wow.
We have excellent directors in national government. National government has just last year allocated nearly R1 billion for us to look at our water sustainability and water enhancement.
Okay.
It's
So they're putting some money in,
Yeah.
at least there.
but don't want to be negative. I'm not. They have to work on, let's say, guidance
Yes.
from local
Okay.
officials.
And those officials are not really pushing it through.
Yes, and
They have their own agendas
Yes,
that they want.
agenda.
but we also look at this, which is very, very important, and people don't realize. Working for water,
Yes.
all the alien vegetation that needs to be taken out. If you go in the Langkloof and you see the amount of wattles, one wattle takes thousands of litres a day. That is thousands of litres that has just been sucked up and...
So the wattle's quite good for Briarwood.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got we've got the biggest nursery
Yes.
in the Barkens Valley.
Barkens.
It's just one massive wattles, and Barkens Trust don't want the Zimbabweans to take it out. And that is our best bet, is to take that out, because
Briarwood.
one day when the big flood like 68 or 81 comes, those wattles are going to cause serious problems to the infrastructure. So that's vital, and you've got to start taking out from here right through to the Langkloof. We've got to make it a plan to get rid of every single alien species in
Where did
this
those come from?
country.
Australia.
Yeah, what actually happened was drift sands.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a plaque. It's been stolen now.
Yes.
There was a plaque.
There was a plaque. The Scotsman that saved Port Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was 13.4. I put it in one of my columns in the Herald. It is 13.4, 15.4 kilograms of mixed seed he threw on drift sands
Yeah.
to save the sand.
Yes.
So that sand, that is why your municipal tip is there.
Yes.
So that to stop the sand drifting.
Okay.
But of course that made problems along the beachfront,
Yes.
because
Took away
it's
the
turned
sand.
into rock and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's always
so
been-
he is the man that we can blame
Blame
for
the
all of it. He stopped the sand from moving,
Yeah,
but caused all the other problems.
Yeah. I mean-
and now it's right into the Langkloof.
Yeah. Oh wow. So that just spreads.
And there are, okay, so firstly, the municipality does have a program
Yes.
to get rid of the wattle.
Okay.
Unfortunately, too little money goes.
Yes, too little.
So one of our senior managers is passionate about that. He's forever fighting to get there and to get that program more funds.
Yes.
And the little bit that he can do, he's extremely proud of, which quite rightly so. But we have NGOs and all those as well that come with their expertise.
People are prepared to help. I think we
Exactly.
are.
I mean, Budget and Treasury, National Department of Budget and Treasury, they got programs and teams that come and assist as well. So we have, it's not a lack of, let's say, knowledge or assistance. Once again, though, it's the who's pulling this
Yes,
cart
yes,
behind you? Who's pulling that cart?
That's nothing not to do with water and sanitation, though. That's your portfolio is water sanitation. Is that
That's
right?
correct,
Okay,
yes.
so you know all about the cleaning the water and where the water comes from and all that sort of stuff. So, what is your day involved then generally?
Well, firstly, my day revolves around. I'm a ward councillor.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Ward number one. Huh?
Ward number one. That's right, number one.
Number
All
one.
right.
Ward
Numero uno.
I have the second biggest ward in the metro, so I mean it's really big.
Yeah.
So that's my efforts, 10 to 12 hours a day,
Fixing potholes.
every single day, Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Is assisting my residents with as service delivery goes down, which at the moment we all know it's going down rapidly. The strain and the responsibility on the ward councillors goes up exponentially because residents want answers, and you can't blame them. I mean, they're paying rates, they're paying taxes. So that's the majority of my work. Most of this I do in the other hours at home.
Yeah. Okay. So it's extra hours.
Yeah.
Do you have a wife and family?
Oh, I have an extremely understanding wife.
Oh, really?
You must remember I was in the Navy for many years.
Okay,
So I can only say thank you.
Well, Look, I see. What about the potential crisis which lies ahead with regard to our sewage system? Yeah, and when we have a flood, our stormwater drains, is that under that portfolio as well?
No, stormwater drains is under roads.
Okay.
But sanitation is under the water and sanitation department.
Yeah.
We at the moment we don't have a single wastewater treatment works that is fully operational.
Yeah.
There are plans. There's a lot of money going into that at the moment. Our pump stations, I think we have, 84 or 94 sewage pump stations. Most of them are not fully operational either.
Okay.
So, for instance, when we had load shedding,
Yeah.
the pump station wasn't maintained, so the generator wasn't maintained. So when there's a power failure, the pump can't operate.
Yeah.
The sump gets full and it runs into the sea or it runs down the road.
This is what happens here. This pump station up here for the sewage.
Exactly.
Where's it up near Aurora there? There's a pump station that always seems to explode.
And Cape Recife at the moment, we had that flood, 3 floods in a short period of time. So the inflow of water is too much and the system can't cope, so the overflow goes to the sea. Which is unfortunate, but you can't really blame the pump station or the wastewater treatment for that.
But if I can come in here, I did a risk assessment via weather for the disaster management. And what I did is I took all major rainfall events from 1900, and I think I did it up till 2010. It was about 10 years ago. And what constitutes a flood is getting less and less and less. In other words, if you had 50 mils in 1930, it wasn't a flood. But 50 mils now is a flood. And that line is going like it. So one of these days, what is 10 millimeters might be a flood. So that is very, very bad. We've got this beautiful idea, these detention ponds next to Buffelsfontein.
Yes.
But what is happening with them?
They're getting full of wattle.
They're full of wattle. So what's going to happen? They're going to go overflow to the next one, and they're going to be rendered. It's simple. Take a bush cutter, cut them down. Really, it's not hard work.
So if I can just come back to the wastewater quickly.
Yes.
One of the challenges the municipality has, so your gutters in your house is stormwater. Should not go into the sewage system.
No,
Should go into the stormwater system.
But to the road.
But so many houses will take their gutters and put it into the sewage system. That gully there where you from your kitchen or from your toilet, they stick it in there.
Wow.
So
put it in your tank.
Well, ideally you're right. So what happens when we have a bit of rain? You've got this deluge into your sewage system, and it can't cope.
Okay.
So then you have.
So if you got one of those, take them out.
And then we get cross with the municipal officials, saying, "Look at this. It's like Brewer Street in Summerstrand. We've had a river of sewage down there for more than 2 weeks. I'm talking about a river. I mean, it was disgusting. It's just stormwater. The system couldn't cope. So they've got a contract. They're busy there. They're cleaning and they're dredging and they're doing something about it. But the overall problem is that as a household, we're not always following the bylaws.
Okay, so we've got to watch out for that stuff. And the guttering and this.
Well, if you put it into your water tank, you actually save the stormwater.
Absolutely.
So it's better to put it in the water tank and you don't pay for the water.
What other challenges are you facing as in that portfolio? Is there anything else that's
what are the challenges?
Look, one of the bigger challenges is budget. It's not that we don't always get enough budget, it is spending that budget.
Okay. Putting it in the right place.
Yes, because once again, that is determined, our budget and treasury directorate is like the rest of the municipality, just slightly dysfunctional.
Full of red tape.
So for to get a contract to go and clean or to repair a pump station, you know, you have to get 3 quotes, and it has to go through budget evaluation, then budget adjudication, and then you know, wherever. And somewhere along the line, somebody says, "Oh no, I don't agree with this," you know, and they don't always phone you and say, "Listen, I don't agree. You must come fetch it." They put it there.
In the pile.
And it just stays there until the official goes and says, "You know, where's my contract?" "Oh no, here it is. You must change that wording there."
Yes.
And then it starts all over again. So that process hampers all the departments really. As roads and stormwater have the same challenges. But so that is a big problem. Getting to spend or be able to spend. And then from me as a politician, the biggest challenge is just getting information. We are loath to give any information out there. You know, this is my department. I've got the information. You know.
So politics, a bit of politics.
Too much politics.
Officials shouldn't be playing politics. If they got nothing to hide, they shouldn't have any problem sharing information.
It's for the people, it's not for them.
Public accountability.
Exactly. I need to go back to the residents and say, "Excuse me, it's difficult to say, but the residents in my ward fight with me a lot, and rightly so, about water and sanitation. But as this DA spokesperson, I go throughout the whole metro. And I know when I go to places like Zwede and Motherwell and KwaNobuhle, that you have 6 houses where the entire yard is under sewage water. The entire yard. They have to put bricks on top of bricks just to get into the road. And it's not for an hour, it's not for a day, it's for weeks. And then they get told, "No, we know about it, we'll get to it next week." So we have a serious problem in things like that. You know, so I do understand. I'm a ward councillor. I have to respond to my residents. But there's a bigger picture as well.
I see that. When specifically question, has anybody in council ever suggested any kind of timeline for a review of the current tariff structure? So has anybody given us a timeline? What do they say when you ask them?
Next week.
Well, okay. So firstly, tariffs is determined every year. But that is the general tariffs. The punitive tariffs you can adjust depending on the situation. But I think in answer to that question is no, they haven't been given a timeline because no one has ever answered.
So they just take it off the agenda.
It's just doesn't get tabled, it's not discussed. Not even at the portfolio committee meeting are you allowed to discuss it and talk about it. As I say,
what kind of agenda would it be? Why would they not do this? I don't understand that.
I don't understand.
I don't think any of the viewers
really
understand this. That they can just surely you can't you say, look here, we're not going to discuss anything until it's just sit there.
Sorry for you.
Go sit there. All the councillors sit in the front there with their backs against the wall and say we're not discussing anything.
It's a slap in the face, really. It is.
Surely something can be done.
It's not that difficult.
No.
You know, councillors, we have a motion. The DA is saying let's reduce the punitive tariffs. The officials have said A, B, and C. Do you agree? No, we don't. Sorry, you've lost. We're going to keep the punitive. But at least then we could go back and you could.
Yes.
Then you can say, okay,
the politicians have, for the following reasons, they've decided this, and this. It's not that difficult.
It's just slack.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe there's some hidden agenda.
Well, we'll have to find out. But I think unless you guys have got anything else to discuss, I see he's got the weather guru says we're looking at a good outlook going forward. Tell us more about this.
Yes, well, we are moving into a bit of a landing stage. We've seen now recently, we've actually had some good rainfall over the Langkloof. Every morning I've got a bunch of correspondence in the Langkloof. Every morning from 6:30, I hear beep, 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 beep. And then it's like 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters. We take in all those little ones. Remember, every millimeter that falls in the Langkloof, it keeps those rivers flowing.
Yes.
You know, when the rivers get clogged up, it needs a lot of rain to push that debris. So it makes little dams and that evaporates.
Okay.
But now we've got that little bit running all the time.
Yes.
And we are looking at, they've had some early thunderstorms in the region. We're looking for some more. So the La Nina it's more in a neutral state, moving towards a La Nina. So I can expect a better season this season. But I'll remember that the summer season is not good rainfall for the bay, but any thunderstorms in the Langkloof, even if it's a good 10 millimeters here, a good 10 millimeters above norm, it is wonderful. It is wonderful, except those thunderstorms can ruin the apricots.
Really? Oh dear. Now, just for the Ward 1 people as well, just to get to know you a little bit, where did you come from, Dries? The Van der Westhuizen, where did you grow up? Where were you born?
Sure, it's a long story. I was born in Nigel, Transvaal.
Nigel. Okay, yeah.
At a very early age, my parents moved to Cape Town.
Yeah.
So I did all my schooling in Cape Town.
Okay.
I joined the Navy, so I went to Durban.
Simonstown.
I went to Durban. Spent 18 years there.
18 years.
Yay.
Wow.
That's where I met my lovely wife. And
was she also in the Navy?
No.
She studied at George.
She's actually from PE. She's actually from PE.
Okay.
At that stage, she was working for the SAA in Durban.
Okay.
And that's where
What was her maiden name then?
Stein.
Stein. She is PE Stein.
Yes.
Excellent. A stain on PE.
Hardly. And then, so from there, I moved to Cape Town for 10 years. From there, I moved to Pretoria for 10 years. And
What did you do in Cape Town for 10 years?
Also in the Navy.
So I understand.
I'm a combat officer by trade, so in other words, I served on the ships.
Wow, okay.
And then because I got too old for the ships, I moved into training.
Yes.
And in Cape Town, I was mostly in charge of all the training establishments and so on.
Okay.
Then I moved to Pretoria as the naval, the senior officer for training throughout the Navy.
Wow.
For 10 years.
So senior training officer throughout the country then.
And then I came to retire in the Bay.
Right. Yes. Your wife decided she wanted to come back here. She was like sick of this.
No, it was actually my decision, but we don't regret it.
To retire,
To retire.
Get away from the big smoke.
Yeah.
But so obviously you've had a bit of an admin background in terms of that training story as well, and running the national stuff, and then also you say so in the Navy that's the discipline story.
Well, besides the discipline, in my time, I'm not saying it's not so at the moment. I can't vouch for them.
The Mendy and the what's else?
Well, we read the newspapers, don't we?
Yes.
There are no ships left anymore.
No, in my time, we got excellent training across the board. We really had, and that was one of the issues for me was I've been fortunate. And I've got good training at taxpayers' expense. So I thought it's only right for me to give back a little bit and try and use that expertise or knowledge or whatever to assist as well a little bit.
Okay.
And
you moved down to PE, back to the sea again.
Well, yes, we were going to. My wife and I were always going to retire in Mossel Bay, Knysna, that area.
Yes.
But I changed that course.
Okay, all right. You decided PE was
to come
the
to
one.
PE for personal reasons.
Okay.
But
and do you still involve yourself with a bit of sailing or a bit of?
No, I've never been a yachty.
Not a yachty. Okay. Only a shippy.
Don't take us all.
It was Kim Shippy, remember? He used to do something on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh my word. But Dries, we're very happy to have you in that position. we're gonna when we and thank you for coming on. It's been
Thank you for the
and thank you to
opportunity.
Garth,
We need to spread the message.
our weather guru.
We need to spread the message. And Gary's going to show us the state of the
The state
dam.
of the dams at the moment. Let's have a look. Oh, there we
That's
go.
the Kocha Dam.
Is that the Coca Dam?
Beautiful. That
Oh,
is a
coming
sight
off
for
there.
me.
Overflowing.
Overflow.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Doesn't it look just spectacular? Wow, and that noise, I can just hear the noise.
Whoa.
Even just
If you ever get a chance, you can go through Tues irrigation board.
Yeah.
And you're quite a fitness fanatic.
Yes.
They can take you on a tour. You climb 386 steps.
Yeah.
You go behind that.
Wow.
And then you go up inside the dam wall.
Yeah.
They say it's experience of a lifetime.
Yo,
So if you want to do that, get hold of
Yeah.
Tues irrigation board.
Captis irrigation, I might just do
That's
it.
right.
There are holes through the...
Yeah,
through the
there's whole
mountain, yeah.
equipment in there, earthquake measuring equipment
But
and all that.
there's a tunnel that was built through...
Yeah, there's a
Captis.
fully functional hydroelectric scheme there that's been mothballed because of politics with ESCOM.
wow.
It can run the entire valley.
Oh, wow, a hydro.
Yes.
Jeez, like...
And
Anything else you got there, Gary? What is that?
A beautiful photo taken by Neil Bissiker from an aircraft.
Excellent.
That's the Impofu Dam.
Thanks, Bissy. That is beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's
But
our
Neil-
biggest. That's the metro's biggest.
Biggest
dam.
dam. That's
Wow.
Neil Bissiker
You
from
can see
North.
why it's because it goes back so far.
Yeah.
Yes, it's massive.
It goes far.
And that was taken the 1st of November.
Okay.
That is the Churchill Dam, and Dries said him and Retief were on the wall when the first drop fell.
Yeah.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah. We went. We got notified from
Yes.
the people
It's gonna
there.
fill up there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's absolutely magic.
And don't know if Gary's got the last slide.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's have a look here quickly.
And then now you can see that net, the Churchill Dam's at 100%. This was on Monday. The Impofu is at 58% or 56%. My eyes aren't that good. We've got Kocha and Lurie at 100% and Grundal at 92%.
Yeah.
So that gives us a total of 83.7%.
Yeah.
So full
I think. What's the date on that? Was that the 13th? That was about a week back.
yeah, it's got a week back.
Stick it on again, Gary. Let's have a quick look at
No,
the
it's
date.
got no- it's got no date on it.
But probably around the 13th, so it would be even fuller.
It's even fuller.
Fantastic. So remove those punitive charges. We don't want to pay anymore. That's
Otherwise, we go to
Yeah.
me and
I'm gonna be-
Gino going to go toy
I'm going to ride, I'm going to be in a barrel and float over the Churchill Dam. Thank you very much for joining us. And this will be rebroadcast on Tuesday as well, so that we can get the message out there. Thank you so much, Dries. It's been fantastic having you here. And thank you,
for the
God.
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Always a
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
And for what
Thanks.
you're doing, Garth. People
Yes.
don't always appreciate how much you're doing for, have always done and still are doing for water and
What is
everything
what
for
is
the
my
metro.
passion?
Passion for the weather and passion for water. Thank you very much, God. We love you for that. And thank you to our sponsors, Fitch and Leeds, and to Mobia for our internet, and to Grace for the odd plate of food that she brings. Although this morning was a bit early for Grace. It's fine. There we go. Fat cats. And so thank you for joining us, and we'll see you following week. We are building towards our penguin. Our penguin show. We're going to be doing a thing with Fitch and Leeds. They're doing a special drink with penguin pineapple juice. There we go.
Yeah.
The pineapple lemonade, and they're donating towards the penguins, which is very relevant to us here.
Definitely.
And the bunkering story, and the fact that they're using our bay as this petrol station basically, and it's just not
Horrendous.
not legal.
Horrendous.
Terrible. So we need to get out a bit of we need to complain about that a bit more as well as our water.
Absolutely. well, it's seawater and fresh water.
That's it.
Water.
Exactly. And of course, yes, coming up the 3rd to the 22nd December at our new venue, Centre Stage at Bay West, is the Cinderella, the pantomime, Cinderella and the Ice Queen's Enchantment, written by Delet and Paul Rulofsa. And they've been, P-Bands is doing that, so you can hurry to quick it and get your tickets. Snap them up, go out to Bay West. Bay West, there's lots happening there. So get on your horse and get out there as soon as you can. Thanks, guys, for joining us. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
sit down, coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot, never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle, have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle,